All right. Hey, so welcome, guys. Look, I've never done a international broadcast before, so it's a first, right? Um, I'm in Paris, France, not Paris, Texas. Completely different places. And after a completely shitty day, I ended up at 7 o'clock tonight engaging with seven or eight European, Parisian wargamers who of all ilks, from 16th century wargamers all the way through to modern conflict enthusiasts, got together and we had a great conversation. And I had the good pleasure to also not only visit with them, but visit with Masahiro Yamazaki, who is the Six Angles. I would call him the editor, for want of a better term, and game designer. He recreates a lot of the very cool, or the best of the cool S&T, SPI magazine games, and has obviously a fairly positive following, and does a great job. The nicest guy you'll ever meet, right? Just super cool, super nice, very pleasant. We spent an amazing amount of time, as in his self-deprecating way, talking about Volky a coin system and how he thought that was very clever and very innovative and took things up a level that most war games don't do. So that was cool. The Parisian war gamers, I tell you what, man, these guys have got it locked down. They get together on a regular basis. They get out of town. They play games for 2 or 3 days at a time. They drink good wine and eat great food. And tonight, I got to say, they treated me right. So I've had this stuff called Calvados, and you can be fine before you have some, and then you have some, and you're not fine. And that's where I am. I'm in the not fine bucket right now. So this is kind of a unique experience for you, because I'm drinking water. Number one, that's unique, and number two, I'm fairly tipsy because we ate a lot of authentic Parisian food or Gallic food. So I tried to spend as much time as I could exploring what Parisians are playing and asking what their interests were and what they liked. And I came away with I don't know, a more global view, literally a more global view of what war games are attractive to people and what people consider to be war games. And we talked about Twilight Struggle, we talked about coin systems, we talked about everything from PQ-17 through to the great campaigns of the American Civil War and Paths of Glory and La Guerre and the whole shoot match. So having 8 guys there all talking about their passions and interests in war games was really, really, really interesting. And a couple of guys I didn't get to spend time with, and damn it, I'm on their Facebook page now, and we're going to get connected. But if I was going to, I don't know, I think Thibaut, the guy who is driving a lot of the Parisian wargaming activity, I would 100% encourage us as Western or American, because look, I live in America, right? So as American wargamers, to adopt a little bit more of their model. They make a conscious effort to get together. They're happy to spend a little bit of money if they can to go and spend time off-site, out in the environs of out of Paris, whatever that's called, the countryside, and they go and play games for 2 or 3 days. If you go to their war game club, man, it's wine, it's war games and war games and war games and war games and great views and lots of light, and there's no dungeons, and it's all good. So I think those guys are doing great things. We talked quite a bit, or maybe I talked quite a bit about. I think the growth of the industry is going to be tied back to games like the coin system, where we rely on them to grab that 30-something boy or girl that's playing Euro games and is looking for something different, and they can migrate their interest to a coin game or equivalent. It might be Triumph and Tragedy. It might be what's that diversity game that I'm not a big fan of. Shoot. Anyway, that's kind of like Axis and Allies Light. But the games like that grab people's attention, get them involved, and let them play that game, enjoy that resource management structure, and then move them into hex encounter or area movement or a CDG or whatever the case may be. And I think that's kind of what we owe the future of gaming. We owe that to our community. So even though I don't necessarily, I'm not passionate about coin. I think it's a fine system, but I'm not passionate about it. If someone wanted to play that game, I think I'd offer to play that game with them and help them experience a conflict-oriented, card-driven resource. It's kind of a resource management game, right? You take a block, I take a block, we take a block, we both take 2 blocks, whatever the case may be. CDG-based resource management game that would then allow them to understand what wargaming, some of the concepts of wargaming, and then gently might find that right area movement, hex encounter movement game that might fit the bill for them. Excuse me. For those of you that are joining, I can see right now, I will say, go back to the beginning to understand exactly how much I've had to drink, and you'll understand the various levels of incoherence. Interestingly enough, some folks vehemently disagree with that. They thought, well, coin is too grognardy, too wargamey for novices to get into. And, I think that's a matter of perspective. I think that's something that we could agree to disagree on, and we could work out how we could make Distant Plains and In Abyss, Fire in the Lake. Well, Fire in the Lake's kind of complicated because it's got the Herman stamp on it, right? But Cuba Libre, Liberty to Death, Gallic Wars, whatever. All those kind of pseudo-coin, asymmetrical, war games are there opportunities for us to do something with people to play. Anyway, so we had this great conversation about what we're playing, what we played last year, because I saw 2 or 3 of these guys, or 2 of these guys last year, almost to the day, and so we're just kind of catching up on what we played, what we hadn't played, and then there's 6 or 7 other fantastic chaps who come from all walks of life, from engineering to technology to journalism, and whatever the case may be, and finance and all the rest of it, and we all share a common bond, and that bond is board wargaming. And there's more of us out there than you think. I was at a dinner last night in Tel Aviv. I was talking to this single guy. He's 35, 37, and he goes, and I said, so what do you do on the weekends, not knowing he wasn't married or whatever? And he goes, and I said, "Do you play with the kids or go play sports or what do you do?" And he goes, "Well, I'm not married, don't play sports, blah, blah, blah. I play board games." I went, "Oh, what do you play?" What do you think he said? Twilight Struggle. Twilight Struggle, right? I went, "Oh, yeah, I've heard of that game. So tell me about that." And so we had a conversation. Because I worked with him, I didn't tell him anything about what my blogging or anything like that. We just talked about games and Ameritrash games and Euro games and war games and stuff. So, but there's guys out there that play. He's fully aware of coin games and plays them, and I think we have an opportunity as a community to engage more people and get them in. And I personally believe there's way more people in the 30 to 50 bracket than there are in the 70 or 60 to 70 in the 60 to I need an oxygen mask bracket. So I think we're in great shape. I come away from tonight thinking, wow, we're going to be. We have decades of great gaming ahead of us. So that's to me that's goodness. I think the other key thing I took away was Masahiro Yamazaki. He's got some cool designs that are potentially on the cusp of maturing, and he needs help. He needs guys that can translate from Japanese to English. He needs folks that can play test, probably with a Western sensibility versus a Japanese sensibility. He's clearly a master of map design and map enhancement, taking a current design. We spent quite a bit of time talking at the dinner. I was a little reluctant to monopolize his time, but he's a writer, he's a novelist, he writes historical books, he writes for a magazine, and he tries to publish reprints of games and new games. So he's got Spanish-American War coming out, I think. He's got a design for the Red Devils coming out for Arnhem. Lots of other stuff going on. So I guess after meeting the dude, and sort of, we're 15 minutes in from me getting back to the hotel room. I want to work out how we can help folks like this who are mature individuals who want to do good things for the community. How do we help them? So if you have thoughts, ideas, or comments, pop them in at the Big Board Facebook page. Please don't put it on my personal page because I'm trying not to spend time on that page. I will share this video over to at the Big Board Gaming, whatever it is, the hell, something or other. We'll do that, and I'll also post it on bigboard.com so you can comment there. Let's work out ways that we can help guys like Mr. Yamazaki do more in the US. I think he could take the Army Games South quad, sell it for $70. I am sure there are 500 people who would, boom, just like buy that tomorrow, a reprint of that thing. We talked at length about all the different designs he has and how there are publishers and printers that will do stuff on demand. And if he got enough demand, he could put a bulk order in for X number of games. I'd be down. I'd buy all his stuff. And if he could take all the cool stuff that's going on in China, there's a lot of games in China, a lot of games in China that are great, interesting war games that we're not seeing, that have really shitty interpretations of Mandarin Chinese rules, that we could get published over here as well. I think there's lots of cool stuff we can be doing. We can have more games to play, and we all need more games, right? Okay. I'll talk to you soon. I hope you enjoyed my little rant. Later.